Welcome to the Abolitionist Roundtable with your hosts Del, Phil, and Janice. Come on in and take a seat. You're invited to join the roundtable. Call 734-822-1600 to get into the conversation. And now, your hosts, Del Marsh, Phil Stargell, and Janice Daniels.
And good morning. This is Phil Stargell of the Abolitionist Roundtable, or Art of Michigan. And I'm sitting at this table, at the round table, and I'm sitting at the head. And across from me is our co-host Janice Daniels, and Del Marsh is en route, and he should be here shortly.
Good morning, everybody.
Yes. What do you think about the way that the news media is handling this outrageous scandal that we see with the Planned Parenthood thing?
Well, I'm glad to see that the Obama administration is investigating the Center for Medical Progress, the people who taped the atrocious behavior of these Planned Parenthood executives. You know, the Obama administration is right on the case. He's going to make sure that these things weren't taped illegally.
Yes.
We want to make sure. But he doesn't say a word about the fact that these innocent, unborn children are ripped into pieces and then sold.
Yes.
This is macabre.
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost scary, and it's like a science fiction movie that we're living through right now.
Yeah, and he sits back for the first couple of weeks after the announcement's made and the film is shown, says absolutely nothing. And then when he does make a statement, what does he say? Well, I'll veto any effort to defund Planned Parenthood. You know, again, he's showing his tendency to be a dictator. This is that. What I say is, what goes.
Right.
That's what bothers me so much about this. I haven't heard anybody fired for this nonsense. I haven't heard of anybody talking about putting somebody in jail for breaking the law.
That's right.
And what does he say? Well, I don't care how appalled you are by this behavior. I don't care how angry you are about it. Only thing I'm telling you is I like the law, and it's going to continue as it's been.
Well, there is one thing about President Obama. He is consistent. Remember, when he was a senator, he voted for partial birth abortion to be legal because he wanted to see a botched abortion where a baby comes out alive, that mother to have the option to kill that baby. Where does it end with this monster? And I do believe that he is a monster.
Yes, he is. And I don't care what anybody says. He's got an immunity cloak around him where he can say all of these things and never, ever anybody challenges him on it, simply because of the fact that if you do, you're going to be turned as a racist.
Yeah.
And, boy, I tell you, I'll be so glad when this final 2 years of this, but, it scared me the other day when he said that he could run for a third term and win. Yeah. I just about believe he could, but I think that he would do a third term by executive order.
That is very, very possible.
And he would prefer it that way. I'm in charge, and I'll do what I want to do.
I actually wonder if this issue, this horrific issue of selling body parts of unborn children, is going to be that tipping point where the majority of people wake up. Because that's the problem. We don't have enough people awake. In fact, I'll tell you, I was at a presentation given by Senator Ted Cruz's dad, Reverend Raphael Cruz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was called God and Government in Milford this past week. It was so wonderful to listen to this man. What he did is he brought, as the title infers, God with government. There's a biblical a principle behind being involved in government. And his contention was that it is the pastors that have allowed this country to go off course so badly because the pastors are supposed to be taking care of the flock.
I can believe that. I was watching Fox, and they have a fairly young priest on there, and they were talking about the fact that is it Dolan that's a Monsignor or Cardinal or something in the Catholic Church made some really, I'd say, fiery rhetoric toward Donald Trump. I mean, and then this young guy that's on Fox regularly, forget his name, but he says that what Trump said was about when he said that the people are coming over the borders and they are, some of them are criminals, some of them are rapists, some of them are murderers and stuff like that.
Right.
This was supposed to be something said that was the most terrible thing that a person could say.
Well, it's very consistent with the left. They take a minor issue and blow it way out of proportion, just like this lion over in Zimbabwe. I mean,
Yes.
I love animals. I absolutely think lions are the most majestic and wonderful creatures on the face of the earth. But the truth remains that in Genesis 1:26, God gave dominion over all the creatures
Yes.
to man.
Yeah.
And yet today we have the focus that is so misguided, worrying about this man. Actually, quite frankly, I'm very concerned about this on another level, in that Zimbabwe
Yes.
is asking to extradite an American citizen.
Yes. Yeah.
This is part of that big one world government idea where
Yes.
Zimbabwe is going to extradite one of our citizens.
Yeah.
I don't think
Over
so.
over a lion.
Over a lion?
And they did. They've already sentenced the guides to
Really?
10 years in jail.
Oh my God!
So you can imagine
Yeah.
what he has to look forward to. I mean, that's what you call a kangaroo court there.
I'll tell you what, we better wise up in this country and start standing up for our government, our form of government that really is so pure, our Republican form of government. We cannot become a part of this one world government.
Yeah.
We can't.
Well, we have on our hotline this morning, we have somebody that you and I both know and respect, and because of our dedication to trying to figure out how to do something about this abortion thing. But on the line we have Michael Matea, and he runs basically almost a ministry on the street. So
Absolutely.
Michael Matea, good morning, Mike.
Blessed morning to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Mike, I was very heartened by the fact that I opened up my newspaper a couple of weeks ago. I think it was in June, about the 18th or 19th or something like that. And I saw a picture of you standing there with your basically a construction worker's shirt on with the reflective garb that you were out there working, and I know that you are dedicated to your views on this ghastly procedure called abortion. And I just would like to first of all, personally, because I've known you for a number of years, I want to thank you for your dedication and your absolute stick-to-itiveness, because I've seen you out there by yourself. And I just want to say thanks for your efforts in keeping this thing in front of the... but we got to do like you. We're going to have to put on our construction hats and go to work and try to get this procedure taken out of, at least out of the funding by the American people. This is, my dollars should not be going to this ghastly procedure.
No, I agree. In fact, I was at DT Energy Theater, I think it was last night. Nicki Minaj or somebody like that was in concert, and I try to hit concerts like that, and I believe that the more that you educate people on what abortion truly is, the more they're going to have it on the forefront of their mind, especially, we're a visual society. Everything is so visual on TV, commercials, and they get our attention that way. And pictures are no different, really. We're just doing it the old-fashioned way, showing them a picture, a photo, and let that speak for itself. And I think it's word of mouth also that we can just get the message out about how Planned Parenthood gets, what is it, $500 million, I think it is, of our taxpayer money to do what they do. Why do they need that? If any people don't understand that the services that Planned Parenthood claims to offer, they can be had for people who are quote low income and such by other organizations. I mean, this is America. This is not a third world country. We have county health departments and other places that people can go see and get the same services that Planned Parenthood quote affords. So I think they use that as a cover for what they really do. And people fail to mention that they say that only 3% of their services are abortion. Well, I would ask somebody, if that doesn't bother you, then find me an organization, say 60 years ago, that did wonderful, wonderful work, but only 1% or 2% of their work was, quote, owning slave ships or bringing slaves here. We would be outraged by that.
Yes,
Say,
exactly.
no, I don't care if it's 0.0009%. It's got to go. You got to go. We need to shut that organization down.
And to prove your point, you notice that if you are a contractor or something like that, and you want to file for different jobs through the government, there are questions whether or not your family or your financial group has had any history in slavery. Even today, those questions arise. So when they say there's only 3% of the funds going to abortion, but I have somebody on the line, and I'm going to get to him in a minute, that disputes those numbers. I mean, most of but let's go even further than that. The $500 million that comes into Planned Parenthood from taxpayer dollars, there's an additional $100 million that came through to Planned Parenthood through the efforts of Hillary Clinton while she was that Secretary of State.